Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is the final video of the reported speech series, and our final video is going to be looking at reporting verbs. So stay tuned, we're going to go through it today, and hopefully at the end of this video you will have a much clearer understanding of how the reported speech works, and you'll be able to use it in your everyday English perfectly. Okay, so there are many verbs which we can use to introduce reported speech. Okay, so up until now we've basically seen two types, so said and asked. Okay, but most of them can be followed by more than one grammatical pattern. So we have 5 different patterns that we're going to be looking at in this video, and we're going to start by sort of refreshing your memories with the formula of reported speech. So remember, to create the statement of reported speech, we need to use a subject, noun or pronoun, the reporting verb, the conjunction if we want to include it, plus the reported speech clause. Okay, we're going to be looking today in the video at the reporting verb. Okay, so this here can be changed depending on what verb we use. And depending on the type of verb we use, we have to follow one of these 5 patterns or formulas. Okay, so a reporting verb is used to report what someone says more accurately than just using say and tell. Okay, there's nothing wrong with using say and tell, but a reporting verb can demonstrate a much deeper understanding of the sentence. So let's take a look, shall we? Okay, so reporting verbs using the verb plus the to infinitive. So have a look at this lovely lady. So I'll get coffee for us. Okay, so this is a direct speech. Okay, she said it herself. And there is always a function to what is being said. Okay, so this is functional language, which is basically offering. Okay, so we'll go back to that in a moment. Let's have a look at these 3 verbs. So we have the verb agree, offer, and promise. So with these 3 verbs, which we can use as a reporting verb, they need to follow the pattern of a verb plus to infinitive. So if our reporting verb is agree, offer, or promise, we have to then use the to infinitive. So let's have a look. They agreed to broadcast the program. Okay, so here we have our reporting verb. So instead of saying said, we have used agreed. Now, the following verb has to be in the infinitive. So we have our to plus the verb in the infinitive. So in this case, our verb is broadcast. Have a look at promise. The mayor has promised to give us an interview. So instead of saying the mayor has said he will give us an interview, we have used promised. So again, we have the verb promise in a reporting statement. So in this case, in the past, present perfect. Promise plus to with the infinitive, to give. Okay, now have a look at the verb offer. So this is using, so we have an example here. So she's offering, the language, the function of what she's saying is to offer. Okay, it doesn't say in this sentence offer. It doesn't actually have the verb offer, but she's insinuating, she's showing that she's offering to buy coffee. So when we report this into a reported speech statement, we use the verb offer. So she offered, okay, because we're talking in the past, okay? Instead of just saying said, we're going to say offered. So if we use offer, we have to follow the pattern of to plus infinitive. So she offered to buy. Or rather, in this case, because you've got the verb here, get, we would say she offered to get me a coffee. Okay? So hopefully that makes sense for the moment. Let's go on to number 2. So, as you can see, there are a few more verbs on this slide. So here we have 7 verbs. 5, 6, 7. So these verbs follow an object, and then we have to use the to infinitive. So, advise, ask, tell, warn, invite, persuade, and remind. Again, remember, these are reporting verbs. These are verbs that we can replace with, that can replace the word said. The verb said can be replaced by these verbs. Okay? But to do so, we have to follow this pattern, this formula. So, the newspaper advises. So this is our verb, advises. People, which is our object. To be careful. Okay, so to be is our to infinitive. So our infinitive is be, to be. Our object is people, and our verb, our reporting verb, is advises. Okay, let's have a look at this one. The teacher. So we have the verb tell in the past. So the teacher told. The children is our object, and then after the object comes the infinitive to be quiet. Okay? The same goes for the rest of these verbs. Let's have a look at our example. We have, could you repeat your question? So here, the reporter is asking someone to repeat the question. So this is a question using the verb ask. So he asked the reporter. The reporter is our object, and our verb that's in here is going to be in the infinitive. So he asked the reporter to repeat his question. Okay? I hope that makes sense. Let's go on to number 3. Okay. So here we have 3 verbs. Oh, sorry, my bad. We're going to go back to this page. So here we have 3 verbs. Okay. Now, with these 3 verbs, we have to follow the pattern of verb plus preposition plus noun, or a verb in the ing form. So, let's have a look at our 2 examples. Here we have a very famous celebrity. So, she has said, the paparazzi are so annoying. So, what is she doing? So, when you're having a look at reporting verbs or trying to figure out or to think about what verb you use, you really have to think about what function the language is trying to show. Okay, so what is this celebrity doing when she says the paparazzi are so annoying? Well, she's complaining. Okay, it's a complaint. So instead of just saying said, which again is absolutely fine, but we want to really deepen our understanding and really improve our use of English. So as this is a complaint, we're going to use the verb complain about. So the about is our proposition. So we have complain, our verb, our preposition about, and then we can use a noun and a verb. So the actress has complained about the paparazzi outside her house. So it is not a direct report of a statement that she has said, okay, but it's taking what she said and it's trying to find out the function, which here is complaining, and and the statement is showing what the celebrity is doing. So in this case, she's complaining. All right, so we have about, which is our preposition. the paparazzi, which is the noun. So in this sentence, in this specific sentence, we haven't used the verb, we're using a noun. So we've got the verb complain, the preposition about, and then the noun, the paparazzi. Okay? So here we have the president, okay? And his report, his speech bubble, his direct speech, is the press is changing the truth. So now we have to again have a look at the function of this speech. So what is actually happening here? Well, the press is changing the truth, so it's an accusation. He is accusing somebody of doing something. Now, if we use accuse, and you always accuse somebody of something, okay, we have to then use the verb plus ing. So it's slightly different to the first sentence. The president accused, so we have our verb, our reporting verb. Somebody, so in this case it's the press, okay? So accused somebody, so in this case it's the press. The press are reporters, people that work for the news, okay? So the press is the news people. Of changing, so here we have our of, which is our preposition. And then instead of using a noun, in this sentence, we're using a verb. So the verb is change in the ing, changing the truth. Okay? So when you see someone accusing someone, we use this formula. And then here at the bottom, we've also got apologize for. So apologize is another word for saying sorry. So the organisation has apologized for publishing misleading information on its website. Okay, so again, apologize is the verb, for the preposition, and again here we're using the verb plus ing. Okay. Okay, so here, our next types of reporting verbs are the verb with a noun plus verb ing. So, we have our 4 verbs here, reporting verbs. Okay, we have deny, we have admit, we have suggest, and we have recommend. Okay, so the criminal denied stealing the money. Okay, so we have a criminal. So this guy is a criminal. Okay, he's done something wrong, but he says, I didn't steal the money. So we have to again realize or decide what the function of his language is. So he is denying something. He's saying that something is not true. So the criminal denied, which is our verb. Okay, and here we're going to use the verb plus the verb in ing. So we don't use the noun. So the criminal denied stealing the money, because here we have the verb steal. So we take that and we put it into the ing form because it goes after the reporting verb, which is deny. And if we use deny, we have to use this pattern, okay, this formula. He admitted inventing some details in his report. Okay, so again we have he admitted, our reporting verb, inventing, okay, which is our verb in the ing. Okay. Suggest, the same thing. They suggested playing football. All right. Suggest is our reporting verb plus the verb in ing. And here we have a teacher or a student. Okay. You should study longer. So again, we need to think about the functional language here. What is actually happening? Well, this person is recommending or giving advice. So is recommending that someone studies longer. So he recommended, our verb in our reporting verb in the past, plus the verb in ing. So he recommended studying longer for the exam. Okay. All right, and I think this is the final one. So, the verb plus a clause. So these verbs can be followed if we want to by that plus a clause. Okay, so that just basically means that we can add that to the sentence. So, she suggested that they should interview local people. Or we can remove that and just say she suggested they should interview local people. Okay? We have too much homework. Again, we're trying to find out what type of language is being used. So if we have too much homework, well, it's a complaint. We're complaining about having too much homework. So complain is a verb that we can use with a clause using that or not. So the students complained they were getting too much homework, or the students complained that they were getting too much homework. So I hope that's helped you all out. That is really basically the basics of reported speech. So hopefully now you will all understand and you'll be able to improve your everyday English with the knowledge of reported speech. So well done and stay tuned. Oh, okay, well that's a bit awkward. No worries, so we're going to continue. So the last thing that I forgot to mention, I thought it was over, but it's fine, is that these verbs must be followed by an object before that. So this is your verb and a clause. So we warned the audience that shouldn't be there. So there's a mistake. So we warned the audience that they might find some of photos upsetting. So my brother and I persuaded our mum to buy us a dog. Okay, so let me explain this a little bit for you. These verbs, okay, we are using in a clause. So we have warned, which is our reporting verb. Okay, but before we use anything else, after our verb, we need to use an object. So our object here is the audience. Okay, then we follow with that. There shouldn't be two that's. This is a mistake, so it should only be one. So we warned the audience that they might find some of the photos upsetting. Okay, so we have our verb, our reporting verb, plus the object, which is the audience, plus that and the rest of the sentence. Okay, the same thing for the second sentence here. My brother and I persuaded. So we have our reporting verb and our object of the sentence is our mum. Okay, and then the rest of the clause, to buy us a dog. Okay, that is definitely the end of this video. So if you have any questions, comment below and they'll be explained. But hopefully you now understand clearly everything there is to do with reported speech. All right, so thank you very much. Goodbye.